Okay then, so the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS. This episode focuses on the duel between Soulburner and Go Onizuka, who is obviously now a bounty hunter. His two backup crew were essentially just fodder in this episode, literally just got defeated straight away by the stuff that was coming past, so didn't really serve much importance at all, really, so never mind. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, this episode I actually found a little bit lackluster, and this is one of the first times I've actually said this about one of the Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS episodes. I think the reason why I feel that way is because I actually don't really agree with Go Onizuka's motivation for why he's abandoned his entertainment-style duelist persona, really. I just think it's a little bit silly. So we learn this episode that Go wants to beat Playmaker because he feels like he cannot restore his pride until he's defeated Playmaker. Playmaker is the wall that he needs to surpass. He thinks that Playmaker sees him as just a stepping stone, that he's just that much greater than him or whatever. And when he's getting interviewed saying that, listen, you were one of the 3 people that saved the VRAINS world. You, Blue Angel, and Yusaku, you're all really awesome. But can you tell us a little bit more about Yusaku? Do you know his true identity and things like that? And all these things have rubbed him up the wrong way and have essentially made him want to abandon his previous lifestyle, give up all his fans and everything like that, so that he has another opportunity to duel against Yusaku, because as an entertainer duelist, well, charisma duelist, I shouldn't really call them entertainers, that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Up 5. As a charisma duelist, he would have no chance of dueling Yusaku again. However, as a bounty hunter, he's gotten that opportunity, but first he's got to go through Soulburner, which we find out in this episode as well that Soulburner used to be a fan of Go Onizuka, and probably still is. He just doesn't like the new Go who he's become now. But this is where my problem kicks in. Go justifies his actions as the fact that he has pretty much suffered the same kind of trauma as those lot, but the way he says it sounds like he's just trying to justify it to himself. Like, he knows really it's not really on the same level, but he goes for it. Like, Yusaku obviously was traumatized. He's been seeking revenge for his entire life. That will probably affect him for the rest of his life now. Kusanagi's brother is like utterly traumatized and has pretty much given up on everything, and is still having like therapy now to try and solve the situation. Spectre turned into an absolute nutcase that loved the tree and things like that, so yeah, the Spectre went a little bit over the deep end. Soulburner, so far, we haven't seen many of the negative aspects of having suffered at the Lost incident years ago, but we know a little bit that he might have some confidence issues in himself, at the very least. He might have low self-esteem, but for just some of these flashbacks that I do want to talk about a little bit later, I think there might be a little bit more to him, so yeah. But Go's justification is that, obviously, he's had no family his entire life. He was forced to survive on the streets and things like that. And I don't know, like, obviously those are very bad things, but it's not the kind of reasons you should be justifying your actions now. He used those actions before to propel himself up to a, not a symbol of hope, this isn't My Hero Academia, but a charisma duelist with a lot of respect who influenced kids. For example, he influenced Soulburner to make him smile. And now he's just abandoned all that for a very silly reason. So that's all I'm just going to try and say. I think the character of Go Onizuka, in my mind, unless he has a really big turnaround, even then, I just think his character's gone down a little bit. So whatever progress we made has gone down. So that's how I feel about Go Onizuka. I kind of hope he does lose. I actually can kind of see him losing to Soulburner. So if he's lost to Playmaker and then loses to Soulburner, then he's like very low on the spectrum of people he needs to beat now. So I do think Soulburner's going to win this duel. I hope it doesn't end in a draw. I feel like that would be a cop-out. Soulburner should definitely win this, even though he's on the back foot. But it's worth mentioning as well that Go has a new deck star because his deck is always evolving. His deck is called, hold on, his Goki deck has evolved now into still a wrestling style deck. It is a Dino wrestling deck, and he has a really awesome ace monster at the moment called T-Rextal. Rextal. I just thought that was amazing. But that managed to get like 4,000 attack, so that was pretty sweet. I'd like to see a little bit more of this deck, just to see how it plays out. If there was something that I did like about this episode, though, it was Soulburner's attitude. He's very positive in this duel. He's very excited to duel against Go. As soon as Go says, alright then, I'll duel you before I duel Yusaku, he's like, yes, that's awesome, can't wait to play you. And he's always smiling throughout the duel, and he's saying how awesome, I'm really glad that I got to duel against you, Go. This is a big honour for me. And he's calling him senpai throughout the entire thing, teacher. And even though Go says there's no reason for you to call me senpai, we can see a little bit why, because he had admiration for him when he was younger. When he was struggling at his lowest, I assume, Go helped him improve. But that also gives me the question of, why does Soulburner look so different before to after? Like, he has his hair down now and has glasses on. I'm all for characters changing their appearance. I always think that's really good in any series, like Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, how he sort of goes through a full change throughout the series in the way he looks. And then that's okay, but I don't know, he just seems really different. He's got glasses on and hair down, and before he had spiky hair and no glasses. Maybe he just has a persona at school. I actually don't know. But yeah, I just found that quite interesting. What's he playing at? Does he have another persona? Does he have a split personality we don't know about? We'll see. Part of the rationale of why he thinks Playmaker is so powerful is what Zaizen said to him. Basically, the incident that Playmaker was in Yusaku's mind, victory is everything. Victory is something that helps him justify existence. As long as Playmaker is winning, he verifies his sense of self. Whereas when Playmaker loses, it begins to lose his sense of self. Because dueling was, in essence, winning equals survival. It equaled food, it equaled nourishment. So, yeah, that's how he's kind of warped now. So, the only other thing I think worth mentioning in this episode is we had another one of those, but you still take the damage moments, which is quite excitable. I think I saw someone put a counter on it before. So we're at 7 now, which is nowhere near as much as Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, but yeah. You take the damage. Overall, though, the episode was okay. It was fine. It was nothing too special. It was nothing really bad. There was nothing bad about the episode. I just didn't think it was amazing. So I just don't think there was that much to talk about in this episode. But overall, I'd love to know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section below. Do you have any theories on Soul Burner? What do you think is going to happen with Go? Do you think he's going to win? Do you think he's going to lose? Do you think it's going to be a draw? I personally hope that Go loses. I hope he realises his sense of self in this episode. He's like, yes, I am a fool. But then that sort of really shortcomes his character. Like, he's become this bounty hunter, and then he realises straight away, like, maybe I was more influential as a charisma duelist. So, I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.